All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Saira Mujtaba. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asked G20 countries to formulate a common platform for extraditing fugitive economic offenders. Underlines need to put people first in framing economic policies. BRICS nations call for a comprehensive approach to combat terrorism. India, Japan and US agree on an inclusive and rules-based order for peace and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific region. Enforcement Directorate summons Robert Vadra in connection with its money laundering probe in a land scam case in Rajasthan. With less than a week left for polling, campaigning reaches its peak in Rajasthan and Telangana. Unique Identification Authority of India asks banks not to discontinue Aadhaar Enabled Payment System as it may obstruct delivery of welfare benefits. And in Men's Hockey World Cup, Netherlands to take on Malaysia and Germany to face Pakistan today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called upon G20 countries to make a common platform for identifying and extraditing fugitive economic offenders and denying entry and safe haven to them. Presenting a 9-point agenda at the first session of the summit in Buenos Aires, Argentina last night, Mr. Modi said a strong and active cooperation was needed to deal comprehensively and efficiently with the menace of fugitive economic offenders. Mr. Modi called for joint efforts by all countries to form a mechanism as immediate action was needed to implement UN principles on Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime. He said G20 Forum should consider initiating work on locating properties of economic offenders who have a tax debt in the country of their residence for its recovery. The Prime Minister underlined the need to put people first in framing economic policies since these have a direct effect on everyday life. Mr. Modi highlighted various flagship schemes of his government, including Jan Dhan Yojana, Mudra Loan Scheme and Startup India, which were undertaken to modernize economy and promote inclusive growth. Earlier on the sidelines of the summit, Mr. Modi took part in an informal meeting of BRICS leaders. They reiterated their commitment to working together in strengthening multilateralism and promote a fair, just, equitable, democratic and representative international order. Condemning terrorism in all forms and manifestations, the BRICS nations said in a joint statement that all nations must adopt a comprehensive approach in combating the menace. Speaking at the meeting, Mr. Modi said,
हमने सभी देशों से FATF मानकों के कार्यान्वयन का आग्रह किया है। आतंकवादियों के नेटवर्क, उनकी फाइनेंसिंग और उनकी आवाजाही को रोकने के लिए संयुक्त राष्ट्र के काउंटर टेररिज्म फ्रेमवर्क को मजबूत करने हेतु ब्रिक्स और G20 देशों को साथ मिलकर काम करना होगा। आर्थिक अपराधियों और भगोड़ों के विरुद्ध हमें मिलकर काम करने की आवश्यकता है। यह समस्या विश्व की आर्थिक स्थिरता के लिए गंभीर खतरा बन सकती है।
The BRICS countries reaffirmed their full support for the rules-based multilateral trading system as embodied in the WTO to ensure transparent, non-discriminatory, open and inclusive international trade. In their first ever trilateral meeting, Mr. Modi, US President Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe agreed that free, open, inclusive and rules-based order is essential for peace and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific region. Mr. Modi said, Japan, America and India or JAI meeting is dedicated to democratic values.
जापान, अमेरिका, इंडिया, JAI, इसका भारत के अंदर मतलब होता है जय। जय का मतलब होता है सक्सेस। तो एक प्रकार से ये JAI, ये सक्सेस का मैसेज देकर के आज हम एक शुभ शुरुआत कर रहे हैं और ये हमारी व्यवस्था, मैं मानता हूं कि विश्व शांति के लिए, विश्व समृद्धि के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी भूमिका अदा करेगी।
The Prime Minister also participated in Russia-India-China trilateral meeting. Briefing media about the meeting, Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale said the meeting was very warm and positive. Mr. Modi, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping agreed to work together in various areas in order to contribute to global peace and prosperity. The Prime Minister also held several bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the G20 summit. In his meeting with the Chinese President, Mr. Modi discussed joint efforts to further enhance mutual trust and friendship across all aspects of bilateral ties. The Prime Minister also had separate meetings with his Italian counterpart Giuseppe Conte, British Prime Minister Theresa May, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, President of Chile Sebastián Piñera and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Our correspondent covering the Prime Minister's visit to Buenos Aires has filed this report.
It was a hectic schedule for Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday as he had met several leaders and held bilateral talks. His speech at the G20 summit clearly indicated his objective in bringing the wrongdoers to face justice. India's presence in the various global forums has increased its importance in deciding specific roles for world peace. Today being the second day of the summit, Prime Minister will again meet leaders from various countries for bilateral and multilateral talks before winding his 2-day visit to Argentina. With Manas Pratim Sharma, Joy, reporting for AIR from Buenos Aires.
For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. You can also log on to our website newsonair.nic.in. The Enforcement Directorate ED has summoned Robert Vadra, brother-in-law of Congress President Rahul Gandhi, in connection with its money laundering probe in a land scam case in Rajasthan's border city of Bikaner. Mr. Vadra was asked to appear before the investigating officer next week. These are the second summons issued to him for recording his statement under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Mr. Vadra did not appear before the investigating officer when the first summons were issued earlier in November. The Central Probe Agency had registered a criminal case in connection with the deal in 2015, taking cognizance of FIRs and charge sheets filed by the Rajasthan police. BJP has alleged that Robert Vadra had put pressure on Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi for revocation of an income tax department order penalizing a company that gave a loan to another entity to buy his land in Rajasthan. Congress has refuted the allegations, charging the government with misusing ED and the income tax department. With less than a week left for polling in Rajasthan and Telangana, hectic campaigning is in full swing in both the states. Top leaders of different political parties are holding public meetings at different places to woo the voters. In Rajasthan, BJP President Amit Shah will address rallies at Balodra and Baitu in Barmer district and will also hold a roadshow today. Congress President Rahul Gandhi will address public meetings at Udaipur, Bhilwara and Chittorgarh. A report.
Election atmosphere is seen everywhere in the state. BJP is campaigning under the theme Bhajpa Phir Se, whereas Congress theme is Ab Badlega Rajasthan. Meetings and roadshows are being conducted and senior leaders of political parties are doing all efforts to get the mandate. Candidates are also making possible efforts to make the voters in their favor. Main parties' spokespersons are attacking each other and social media is being utilized at large level. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Telangana, top leaders of all major parties including TRS, Congress, BJP, TDP have intensified their campaign. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Addressing rallies and conducting roadshows, top leaders of all parties are trying to woo the voters by highlighting the promises made in their respective party manifestos and targeting their opponents. While TRS President Chandrasekhar Rao and his party senior leaders, including KT Ramarao, MP Kavita and Harish Rao, are making whirlwind tours, addressing at least half a dozen rallies a day, the national leaders of Congress and BJP also intensified their campaign. Central ministers and BJP general secretaries are reaching out to even remote areas of the state and holding road shows and addressing corner meetings in support of the party candidates. Lakshmi, AIR News, Hyderabad.
Both the states will go to polls in a single phase coming Friday. The counting of votes will be taken up on the 11th of this month, along with Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Mizoram. Polling for the 6th phase of Panchayat elections in Jammu and Kashmir began a short while ago. 21 blocks of 9 districts of the Jammu region and 16 blocks in 9 districts of Kashmir Valley are going to polls in this phase. Polling, which began at 8 a.m., will continue till 2 p.m. Around 7,000 candidates are in the fray for nearly 400 Sarpanch and 2,200 Panch seats. More than 100 Sarpanch and around 1,000 Panch have already been elected unopposed. Our correspondent reports that Panchayat elections in the state are being held on a non-party basis in 9 phases.
771 polling stations have been categorized as hypersensitive, of which 410 are in Kashmir division and 360 in Jammu division. Basic minimum facilities have been ensured in all polling stations for facilitating the voters. Security arrangements have been made, including deployment of Central Armed Police Forces. Senior government officers have been appointed as general observers to oversee smooth, fair and orderly conduct of Panchayat elections. R.K. Raina for AIR News from Jammu.
The Unique Identification Authority of India UIDAI has asked banks not to discontinue the Aadhaar Enabled Payment System as it may obstruct delivery of welfare benefits. The clarification came after the UIDAI took note of a letter from the State Bank of India to the National Payments Corporation of India, NPCI. In the letter, SBI had informed NPCI of its intention to discontinue Aadhaar Enabled Payment System, purportedly based on the understanding that it may be in violation of the recent Supreme Court judgment. Talking to AIR, UIDAI CEO AB Pandey said,
सरकार की अनेक योजनाएं हैं जिसमें कि सरकार सब्सिडी देती है। उसी तरीके से स्कॉलरशिप के पैसे, मनरेगा के पैसे, अलग अलग जो कल्याणकारी योजनाएं हैं उसके पैसे भेजे जाते। लेकिन चूंकि बैंक ब्रांच हर जगह नहीं है, पैसे निकालने के लिए ये आधार इनेबल पेमेंट सिस्टम काफी कन्वीनियंट था। तो हमने सभी बैंकों को ये कहा है कि आधार इनेबल पेमेंट सिस्टम ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो निर्णय है उसके अनुरूप ही है और इसीलिए उसको जारी रखना चाहिए।
Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh will inaugurate the 19th Hornbill Festival at Kisama village near Kohima in Nagaland today. Additional Director of the State Tourism Department, Akhali Vizol, said Governor P.B. Acharya will be the chief host, while U.S. Ambassador to India, Kenneth Juster, has been invited as the guest of honor. The 10-day fest aims to display the rich traditions and the vibrant culture of Nagaland through colourful performances, crafts, sports, food fairs and ceremony. In the Men's Hockey World Cup, the Netherlands will take on Malaysia at 5 p.m. while Germany will face Pakistan at 7 p.m. in the two Pool D matches in Bhubaneswar today. After making a perfect start to their campaign by beating South Africa 5-0, India will play its next Group C match against Belgium tomorrow. Yesterday in Pool B, Australia began the title defence with a 2-1 win over Ireland in their first encounter. In the other match, 18th ranked China gave the first upset of the tournament as they held world number 7 England to a 2-2 draw. And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Anuja Kumar.
Thank you, Saira. English papers have led with different headlines today. Farmers from various parts of the country converging in the national capital to make themselves heard has gained attention of the media. Hindustan Times writes, Opposition unites at Farmers' Rally, hits out at centre. The Pioneer notes, 21 opposition parties ride on Kisan wave. The GDP growth rate slowing to 7.1% is extensively covered. The Economic Times headlines, Q2 growth slows to 7.1%, but India still leads world. The Pioneer writes, India's GDP growth slows to 7.1% but retains fastest tag. Prime Minister Modi attending the G20 summit is widely covered. The Asian Age headlines, Modi showcases government's inclusive schemes at G20. Now River Ganga has a retired judge to rejuvenate it. The DNA headlines, ex-judge UC Dhyani to monitor Ganga cleaning. The same paper also carries a story headlined, 108 ambulances deliver 29,000 babies in Maharashtra, adding that the 108 ambulance service helpline delivered 20 babies every day on an average since its launch, either inside the ambulance or at the location of call. In some other stories, Hindustan Times says, rising obesity, lack of exercise puts liver under stress, says doctors. Jammu and Kashmir's Sikh girl offers to donate kidney for ailing Muslim body, writes the DNA. The Tribune says, Shergill's little girl fetches 18.69 crore rupees, with Amrita Shergill's painting fetching the whopping price at Sotheby's maiden auction in India. And finally, for literature lovers in Delhi, the Times of India asks, Times Litfest is back. Have you bookmarked your favorite sessions? If not, do that on 1st and 2nd December at India Habitat Centre. And with that, it's back to you, Saira.
Thank you, Anuja. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asked G20 countries to formulate a common platform for extraditing fugitive economic offenders. Underlines need to put people first in framing economic policies. BRICS nations call for a comprehensive approach to combat terrorism. India, Japan and US agree on an inclusive and rules-based order for peace and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific region. ED summons Robert Vadra in connection with its money laundering probe in a land scam case in Rajasthan. With less than a week left for polling, campaigning reaches its peak in Rajasthan and Telangana. UIDAI asks banks not to discontinue Aadhaar Enabled Payment System as it may obstruct delivery of welfare benefits. And in Men's Hockey World Cup, Netherlands to take on Malaysia and Germany to face Pakistan today. With that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.